Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low. Let the wind
It takes all sorts of people with different experiences, different opinions to run a country, to run a state, to run a district. But is this really the type of person? Oh, I'm a little torn, and there's things about this speech I'm going to play for you that if this is the standard of person, the person with and listen, when we watch this speech, okay, and listen to this person, I'm not saying that everyone obviously makes mistakes in life. Everyone takes different roads. I have made the worst mistakes in life. I've done some of the stupidest things when I look back at my past. But if you we all make mistakes. We all take the wrong path from time to time. But you got to be able to recognize it and say, well, that was the wrong way to go. This was, and not allow that to make the person who you become. Sometimes you realize, okay, I need to make changes in my life. Things aren't working well. I've taken the wrong turn here, so I'll make a change. And you have to own up to those mistakes. But if you're not going to own up to those mistakes and think, well, no, this is the right thing to do, and this was everyone else's fault. They outed me, and I'm paying the price. I paid the price for other people's decisions, which is it's part of the truth, but it's not owning up to, hey, maybe you made the wrong decision. Maybe and if this is the type of moral compass and the type of ethical standards that we have for this nation and for our parliamentarians, our MPs, I think we're on the wrong course. Let's check out this video.
It is no secret I have a more colourful background than most politicians. But at one point in my life, it was a secret. And it was a secret that was stolen from me. This defining moment was in the summer of 2012, when I was in my second year at Deakin University and working as a topless waitress and stripper. I did everything that I possibly could to protect my anonymity from my peers.
See that she did everything she could to protect her anonymity from her peers. So does that include working at a public venue where people pay money to go into and see people walking around topless or stripping? She did everything she could to protect her anonymity, except for the one thing that she really should have done to protect her anonymity, and that's not work in a public place, at a venue where the public are allowed, adults are allowed in if you pay the price. So she did everything except for the one thing she could have done, which would have prevented the whole thing. And this is, of course, everyone else's fault. I'm not saying that, anyway, we'll continue on.
Peers, but it didn't work. My whole world stopped on the day that my phone pinged with a notification that I had been tagged in a post on Facebook. I froze, staring at a photo of myself on the screen and a thread of comments beneath. We know that university campuses have historically been a petri dish for misogynistic behaviour, but at the same time, for many men, it is where they get their first taste of politics. While they get a short course in the tenets of power, women are delegitimised, and I had become one of them. Being outed is the most severe of betrayals. Because of one person's fleeting decision to take away my consent and my autonomy, I felt that my life was no longer worth living.
One person, and look, I don't agree. I don't. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be taking a photo and sharing it or sharing people's details. But if you put yourself in that position, you're working in a place If you're living a life where you're trying to keep a secret, okay, you're not just, if you're not proud of what you do, if you don't think it's the right thing to do, you don't think it's a job that you can be proud of, that you can just tell everyone, yep, this is what I do. I'm proud of it, whatever. If you're trying to do it in secret, well, don't do it. But don't go and blame everyone else because you're making decisions that you're ashamed of, but then no one else has the right. Or no one else, let's go and blame these other people who outed me when I've made bad decisions.
They stole 10 years from me, with my past constantly hanging over my head like a dark cloud, living in fear every single day that it would resurface. But here I stand today, the youngest woman in this parliament, owning my story, proud of my past, and ready for my future. I now know that my experiences bring a unique perspective to this place and the ability to consider matters with kindness, empathy, and compassion. What I once perceived as one of my biggest weaknesses, I now know is one of my biggest strengths. And with a new generation of women coming into our parliaments, I hope they can look to me and see that their past will never define their future.
Okay. Their past will never define their future. Yeah, okay. I think their past will never define their future. Like I said, we all make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's not pointing at people. If someone came in and said, look, this was my past life, I was living but I turned things around. I was on a bad path, wrong path. I turned things around, and here I am today, and now I'm running for parliament. I think I have something to be able to share with the rest of the country. This is a path that you shouldn't go down. But no, this is not what she's saying. She's saying, hey, I took this path. I was trying to keep it a secret because I was ashamed. Someone outed me. How dare they out me? Because, it was my secret to tell if I wanted. You already made the choice. You worked in public. You worked in a place where people pay to come in public and see you running around naked. You'd provide a service for people, and then it's other people's faults when they go and tell the rest of the world because you wanted to keep it a secret. Maybe you should have had people sign an NDA or something. Or maybe you don't work in a place like that if you're ashamed of doing it. And Australia, do we really think that this is the type of person that will make the best politician, is the best representation for us as a nation? Like I said, if she was there and she's like, oh, okay, I used to work as a stripper. I don't think it was the right thing to do. I really regret my past. And I don't think this is a lifestyle that young ladies should go down. But no, she's saying, hey, I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I wanted to keep it a secret. Someone else let me let that secret out. And it's their fault. I don't accept any of the blame. But look at me now. I'm a politician and I can share all that with all these other young people and encourage them to take the same pathway, which is not a good pathway. Her being in politics, I tell you what, when I was in the police, you, especially down in the city, you end up coming across seeing one thing with a lot of the criminals we were chasing after. You notice that a lot of these criminals were friends with strippers, okay? And always these strippers were not leading great lifestyles. They either had a drug problem, they had crappy boyfriends that would push them around. They'd make great money, but they had a lot of issues in life. They weren't. I never came across any that I thought, oh yeah, they've really got it together. They're very stable. mentally stable. They all seem to have some major issues that had pushed them into this path because it was easy money, because they could just sell their body. They sell the pleasure, this fleshly pleasure of viewing their body, allowing other people to view their body naked. I never saw anyone in all the times that I've heard of people. I had these people that we were following around, and their friends were strippers. They were never the greatest. They weren't the greatest minds out there. Don't get me wrong. I felt sorry for a lot of these people, because you could see that they'd gone into this area. It's an easy way to make money. It's the easy way. And if you're always taking the easy way, it's not going to work out better in the end. I'll remind you that Jesus said in Matthew chapter 7, enter by the narrow gates, okay? By the narrow gate, sorry. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Wide is the gate, broad is the way, because it's the easy way. It's you constantly take the easy path, the path with the least resistance. But he goes on and says, but narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Few who find it. If you're constantly just taking the easy way out, the broad way, which everyone is going, oh, life is too hard, I couldn't be bothered getting education, or I'm trying to get an education at university, I've got to pay bills, so what's the easiest way to pay the bills? Become a stripper, become a prostitute. Oh, and then it's other people's fault when they put it all over the internet. Hey, you look what little Jane Doe does. She's a stripper down at this joint. Well, it's everyone else's fault. I was trying to keep my anonymity. That's why I work in the public place. Narrow, wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction. And what do we do in Australia now? We vote them into Parliament, apparently. Let me know what you think. This is ridiculous. If this is the standard, we see the standard for our parliamentarians, we see the standard dropping, constantly being lowered and lowered and lowered. And now this is the standard of politician we have. I think it's the wrong way. I think we're going the wrong way. I think the standards should be higher for politicians. Like I said, everyone has a past. But do you recognize those mistakes and stop trying to blame everyone else for your past mistakes and saying, hey, maybe this wasn't the right way for me to go, and I can show people a better way? Or are you just going to lead more people down the garden path along the broad and wide way to destruction? Let me know what you think. This is my opinion. Thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more deals to be done. No nothing's gonna just focus on the goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down. Got my eye on the prize. Got my eye on the prize. And tears on side. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more deals to be done. No more selling out my soul just to focus on the goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down.